All right. So, welcome to the Starry Sea, a 5th edition D&D one-shot for LTNCon. We're going to get rolling here. We have a wide array of experience across our players. We've got several folks who are longtime players and DMs in their own right. And we've also got some new folks. So we're using D&D Beyond for character sheets and rolling. So if you'll go ahead and pull that up. D&D Beyond is super handy because if you've basically ever played a video game, you can use it to run D&D. So everybody can pull up their character sheets. I will pull up all sorts of other stuff. Campaign setting, encounters. All right. So do you prefer... Let's go around and do names first. Hi, everybody. I'm Colby. I'm your DM for this evening. Oh, I think you're on mute. Or I'm... Or my headphones are just dead.
No, I have push to talk on. I'm that silly.
There we go.
My name is Zarku, or Joshua. I am playing Nim Savaris for this one shot tonight. And I am a CL fighter.
All right. My name is Joe. I am playing Pranya. I am Lokatha Barbarian. Hi, how you doing?
Love it.
My name is Roosevelt. I'm playing Cedric Obi. He's a fallen Asimar cleric.
My name is Patrick. I'm playing Gregor Alexander Goodman, a human paladin warlock.
My name's Toffee, and playing Levi, I believe. And I've never done this before. So.
No worries. All right.
Good to have you.
I'll shoot you back this link.
Thank you.
No problem. That should go straight to your character page. And then everything else you can just click to from there. All right. So this is 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, which means that this is both a sort of tactical adventure game where our players will engage in daring combat with special abilities in a war game type setting, but it's also a role-playing game. At the end, the goal is not to win or lose, but to tell the best possible story. As the DM, I'm going to describe basically what's happening in the world around you. You might think of me as the game engine for the game we're playing. So I'll be describing the non-player characters, your settings, mysterious things in the depths that might or might not attack you, and you all will be responding as your characters would. Not necessarily just what's the best way to win, but what does the actual person, this role that I'm taking on, what would they do in this situation? And now I'm going to take a drink. Because that's what I would do in this situation. So, tonight, we are the first to enter a new homebrew setting called the Starry Sea. The Starry Sea, an infinite ocean without sky or land. A vast tapestry of darkness and depths. There is no shore. There are no islands, no continents, just infinite ocean in every direction. And all would be darkness and cold, except that scattered within the waves and the tides are stars. Beacons of light and life and hope. The heart of tiny pockets of habitable waters and strange, desperate cities which cling to them. Out in the dark, there are swirling, colorful tides of raw magic, anglerfish devils from the depths rising up to tempt and devour, and down beneath it all, unimaginable things slumbering in the countless fathoms below. Nothing in the dark but angels and devils and sharks and gods and the foolishly brave souls that take to ship among them. Occasionally, out in this dark and void, new stars are born in a process called astrogenesis. Raw magical stardust swirls together until it forms a new pocket of habitable area in the depths. You all have been hired by the Orphany Colony Commission to head out to Nebulous Astral Cluster HSD 349.361. You're going to go see a star being born. You've been commissioned to be crew on the Acheron, a famed expedition spell ship which is transporting supplies and specialists to the site. You're about a week away from your destination now. You all have been traveling for a solid week together. Some of you, this isn't the first time that you've traveled together. And each of you has a role on the ship. So what I'm going to do now is go around, describe your character, and just paint us a little picture of what your character is doing on the ship. If there's some detail about the world you want to know, just ask me and we'll fill in the gaps on this weird, strange world. So how about Piranha? What has Piranha been doing in the last week?
For the last week, Piranha has been mostly in the galley, making all sorts of food that is questionably edible, but when that's your only choice, that's what you eat anyway. Those of you who have served with Piranha before, when you got onto this ship and reunited with Piranha, he immediately noticed, "You look too skinny. Here," and shoved a tin of sardines into your hands before you could stop him.
All right, who wants to go next?
Cedric is the navigator, so the past week he just basically making sure that we're on the right track and that we're going to arrive to our destination in a timely and orderly manner.
All right, who's next?
Nimsavaris is your quartermaster. You'll notice him spending a lot of time going through the supplies, making sure everything is sorted. He does it a little differently than most quartermasters because he has an echo that he uses to good effect to transport goods around. He doesn't really like doing manual labor all that much, so he would much rather just pick up something, have his echo appear where he wants to bring it to, and then just copy himself to his echo and put it down whenever possible. Especially ladders and stairs. They're just not fun to bring things up and down. So he'll oftentimes just teleport goods up and down stairs using that.
All right.
I like it. Work smart, not hard.
Exactly.
Your overworked Echo. And in fact, you've been exceptionally overworked. This is a very cargo-heavy transport that you're on. You all are basically bringing the building blocks of a new colony. All kinds of equipment that will eventually become a new waterproof habitation that'll be built into these huge rings around this new star and allow a new colony to be born. So you've really had to work overtime, or at least your Echo, trying to keep track of all of the many materials and strange items that are necessary for starting a new colony. So who's next?
Gregor, growing up in a affluent area, going to officer school early on. So he's going to be our resident officer, always looking for an opportunity to be available to him. Seldom
right.
seen.
So you have been serving under Captain Charon, who is heading the overall mission. Charon, who you've had to run into quite a bit, is an Asimar. In the Starry Sea, Asimars are a little bit different because in the depths, angels actually have stardust glowing inside their bodies, like clouds of multicolored light that sort of flow through them. Just hanging out next to him has been kind of a disorienting experience, but he seems to be a very trustworthy captain. And in fact, you know that a ship like the Acheron is, I mean, famous. It's not a ship that just anyone gets to captain. So he's been running you ragged, trying to keep all of these other knuckleheads in line. And you all have survived at least for a week. All right, and I think that leaves us with Toffee/Levi.
So, all I like to imagine is Levi just hangs around, not doing much help people, but he's always looking for an opportunity to play a game with someone to steal their money. Because Levi likes to play games, but he also likes to use underhand tactics.
All right. And Levi's brother, Behemoth, is also on board and has been sort of Levi's shadow for much of the journey. And Levi, part of how you get away with essentially goofing off is that as a spellcaster, you help power the spell engine that runs the Acheron. There's essentially a huge stardust-infused crystal that's the heart of the ship. And it's connected to all of these spells that are inscribed and run all throughout the ship. Things that create breathable air, things that propel the ship, things that power all of the navigation and weapons, even things that purify water for drinking. All of those systems require arcane energy to run, and so you are one of the folks who has had to basically hang out with like one hand on this crystal, but otherwise you can pretty much do whatever you want. So you've gotten away with playing some cards. All right. So you are 5 of dozens and dozens of crew on this ship. This is a massive ship. It runs like a half dozen levels up and down. The ship, the closest thing to our sensibility would be, it's closer to a submarine. There's some magic involved that actually creates some pockets on the outside of air for things like repairs and if you needed to engage in combat or dock with another ship. But for the most part, you all are in this enclosed space, jetting off on your way towards the future Orphany colony. So you've been on the road about a week. You've seen all manner of strange things out in the dark. You've seen a few celestial creatures moving out in the dark. They're actually very easy to spot because of these rainbow-colored clouds of stardust that run through them. You've seen strange glowing shark creatures. You can't actually see the body itself, but you see bioluminescent stripes that run down the side and bioluminescent eyes that are glowing in the dark. One thing you do know about the depths is most things out there that produce light are either predators that are luring creatures to them or something that is strong enough that it doesn't care what finds it. So you've seen all manner of strange creatures, but honestly, it's been kind of chill, which is a little surprising. You all are well out from what's considered habitable waters, and even though the Orphany star is almost fully formed, it isn't yet creating the safe, warm, and bright area of ocean that allows life to flourish. So, let's see how well you all are doing at your jobs. So, Piranha.
Yeah.
So, you're in the kitchen. What is for lunch today?
Oh, lunch. We have some seared tuna, kelp salad, a lot of sushi, boss.
All right. Yeah, you eat an awful lot of fish in this environment. Folks been making their way through all day. You have been hacking and chopping at all manner of things as you cook. You've got your very sharp obsidian cooking knife that matches your great axe, and it has been very, very busy. Nim, down in the hold, go ahead and make this will be our first roll of the night. Give me just a straight intelligence roll.
Can you see them on D&D Beyond?
I probably can if I go
So
to that
14.
screen. 14. All right. With a 14, yeah, you're pretty well on top of this. There are a lot of materials here. You see things that are basically like the shells of prefabricated buildings that a combination of sort of artificing and magic will put together and expel all the water from very quickly. There's one strange item that you've never seen before. For the most part, like, you've seen it all. You know every kind of building material and food and item of engineering and magic and pretty much anything anyone would need to transport or use on a ship or build a colony with. It's all passed under your somewhat attentive stare at some point. This is new. On your inventory is some kind of power source. And you've seen these before. There's a lot of different ways to process stardust and starlight, which come off of the stars and are essentially raw magic. And they can be processed into different kinds of receptacles and essentially batteries. There's liquid forms, there's a lot of crystalline forms. You've even seen like essentially powdered stardust that's used in certain kinds of explosives. This one's new. This is a massive crystal. It's probably as big as like you might compare it to like the size of a car or larger. And it looks mostly inert. It's very sort of a dim gray. Think almost like a grayed out quartz, with just little flickers of rainbow light in the center. And it's a little strange. You've never seen that before. All right. Cedric, you said you were navigating, right? Cedric Obi?
Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
Yes, I'm navigating the ship.
All right. Go ahead and give me. Let me see if I actually gave you the proficiency. Yep. Go ahead and give me a navigator's tools check using your wisdom. Oh, we'll just call this a survival check. It'll be the same.
How do I roll it?
You should just be able to click on the +6 next to survival.
Yeah, I'm trying that. It's not letting me. Maybe let me see if I have it enabled. All right, let me check in. No, I don't have it enabled. Sorry.
No worries. Just give me a d20 roll +6.
Yeah, I'm enabled it right now.
Okay.
And I'll be able to do it. All right, there we go. All right, I got 11.
All right. So you're at a console on the bridge of the ship. Levi is pumping power into it through his magic. And this console is like reading the flow of light and stardust and magic through the water and using that to triangulate your location. So basically, you can tell, even at this distance, where the stars are, which allows you to pretty closely figure out where you're at. You've already gone over these calculations. You're pretty sure where you're at. You're not shaving any time off by any means, but you keep the ship on track. So we'll pan over just slightly. Levi, how are you entertaining yourself during your current shift?
I guess just playing games with people that are walking by, trying to steal their money at cards.
Let's see what your proficiencies is. Let's just call this a pure... Actually, we'll call it the deception check. So you and your brother... Beemeth is pretty quiet, but you all have been traveling together for a long time, and even without communicating, the two of you are really good at fleecing people out of their money playing cards. So go ahead and roll a deception check. So you're going to click the number next to deception. And this roll will tell us how well you're doing.
Gotta give me a second.
No worries.
There's other people on the ship or just us?
Oh, there's like 30 people probably.
You said just click the number next to deception?
Yep. You might need to enable it.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you click edit your character and go to the very first screen, this is what I had to do. On the home screen, there's a option that says dice, and then you would need to click on that to enable it.
Sorry, guys. I'm currently...
No worries.
Everyone plays for the first time.
Yeah. Okay, so can you explain that again to me? I'm
Yeah,
at like
no
the
problem.
sheet right now. I see Levi, I see all the...
All right, so you should have a section labeled skills. If you have it up on sort of your whole screen, it's probably like a long column on the left side of the screen. It's in alphabetical order, and we said deception, so it's about a quarter of the way down the list.
Yeah.
And you should see a +7 there. Click the +7, and it'll do the rolling for you.
Okay. I still haven't figured out how to enable it. You said something about going to.
Yeah, so if you go to the very top of your character where it has your character name, right next to that, there should be like a gray gear.
Yep.
Click on that.
Okay.
And then you're going to a menu will pop up, and the first option is edit character. Click on that.
I see the problem. You're gonna have to give me 1 second. I see the problem. I had signed into the D&D Beyond on my phone, but not on my computer, so it wasn't signed in.
I had the exact same thing happen to me last week.
Every layer of technology makes it a little bit more complicated.
Yeah. Oh, I can just do this here. Okay, let's do that. I can just do it from my phone.
Oh, awesome. 16. So a a human woman is passing by and gets drawn into a game of cards, as does a a turtle man, and you do a great job of fleecing them out of their money. You sort of pretend that you're doing badly, but really you're building a strong hand, and Behemoth is really sort of leaning into it and helping you out, and suddenly you just drop some devastating hand and just pull the whole pot. And it's even more impressive because you're doing it with one hand charging the spell engine. So you rake a solid like 15 gold into your pocket out of this. All right. And I think that just leaves Mr. Goodman. So you are also on the bridge. I guess politely ignoring Levi playing cards. And Captain Charon is checking out other parts of the ship right now, checking up on the men and various tasks. So you are basically the officer on deck. Make a perception check.
Next.
All right. With a 16. So there's not a lot to just see directly out of the ship, out in the dark. But on your console ahead of you, there's something that detects magical life energy. Just about everything that can survive out here puts off a certain amount of ambient magic. And so this is sort of like a detect magic that shoots out about 100+ feet in every direction around the ship. So it's one of your clearest ways of seeing what's going on. And you get a blip. It's not a big thing. Well, Huh. There's something far, far down below you. It's just barely brushing against the edge of the sensor.
It's directly below.
Yes, and actually, as you're looking, it's sort of keeping pace with you. You're moving very quickly through the water, so whatever this is seems to be making an effort to stay underneath you.
I give our pilot orders to kind of do a quick of direction, one direction, and back on course quickly after maybe a couple hundred yards.
All right.
I track to see if it's truly keeping with us or if it's
So your pilot Epirus runs a pulse of energy through a console, and all of you can feel it as the ship turns just slightly and starts to swerve off course. And whatever this is follows almost perfectly.
knowing it's big enough to emit some sort of energy signal that far away. Probably want to hear captain, crew happens.
All right. So you said you want to put them on standby?
Yeah, those within earshot stand by for make further details or further action. Send someone to alert the captain.
All right. So there's a. This isn't like the full blown fire alarm kind of vibe. There's just a soft but persistent chiming runs through the ship. Captain Charon hears it immediately. He had actually wandered through the kitchen and was grabbing a plate of sushi, and it starts to chime. Charon pats Piranha on the shoulder and says, "We should go." And as he runs up the hallway, he sticks his head into the cargo area and yells to Nim, "All officers on the deck, ASAP!" And
Understood.
runs off.
Lunch is over for now.
So you all are almost to the bridge when there is a sound. And it's something you've never heard before. There is an unearthly quality to it. And it's almost like something... It's like a rasping shriek, but there's a discordant musical quality that rings underneath it. And you just hear this sound. And it rips across the whole ship. And
That's not a good sound.
it is not. And actually, as you hear that sound, Nim, running behind you is one of your assistants from the cargo area. And it's a fire genasi woman. Her sort of elemental characteristics almost seem like a steam vent. Like there's elements of sort of like fiery magma meeting water. And so there's this sort of gentle cloud that comes off of her all the time. And immediately the fire goes out. And what you see instead is parts of her skin that are not supposed to move start moving and thrashing, and tendrils start to work their way up and out of her skin. And you see her eyes go black all the way across.
Who all sees this?
So Nim sees this person, but actually all of you are seeing this. About... Wait, I say about. I have a number. You're not sure about the rest of the ship, but from the deck, you see 6 of the crewmates who had run up here all fall to their knees and start to change. And all around you, they're echoing that sound. Their eyes are going black. Tendrils are coming out. And you see their faces start to open side to side. And these horrible fanged mouths are opening on their faces. And there's tendrils coming off of the sides. And I'm going to need everybody to roll for initiative.
By the light, what is this?
Oops.
As that's happening, I'll summon my sword.
Oh, just to give you some background, Cedric actually used to worship the void, but he's since repented. That's why he's a full Asimar.
So, as this sound rings out, there's something weirdly familiar to this. Something almost like something you've heard before. And now I'm going to plug in some initiatives. All right, Cedric, 11. Oop. Nim, 10.
Where would I find initiative?
No worries. It is the top. No, it's almost
Kind
the
of
top
top
row of
and
the
center.
page. Yeah,
Okay.
it's usually right
Who's-
next to your armor class.
I see it.
Pranya got a 21.
Yeah. Gonna be the only good roll tonight.
Levi got the 4. All right. So, let me adjust our map a little bit here. Map that only I can see. Put y'all in the right places. All right. So, Pranya, you are up first. So, these horrible sort of malformed mutations have broken out across all of these crew members. You can see 6 of them on the bridge. So you're in a large room, large square room. There's consoles and sort of a U shape across the front. The spell engine is sort of in the center back of the room. That's where Levi is. And you are sort of dead center in the room. You can easily get to any of the creatures that you want to.
Okay. And just to be clear, right now, all I know is that these are crew members who are transforming.
Yes. And actually, I'll go a step further. I think with your background, go ahead and give me a religion check.
Well, I've got a -1 there, so... Oh, 14.
This is familiar to you. Sometimes, whether it's celestial or whether it's angelic or devilish or or something from beyond, these powerful influences can cause mutations. Usually these happen very, very slowly. And so, like a particularly devout paladin might eventually have stardust, like, sort of coming off of them like an angel. Or a fiendish cleric might develop the sort of spiked, glowing halo of one of the anglerfish devils. This looks like what happens to people who worship some of the things that sleep in the depths. But normally these sorts of changes would take place over a very long period of time. Whatever this is, usually by the time people's faces burst open sideways, it is not reversible.
Okay. Well, then in that case, I will say a quick apology as I approach the closest one and pull my axe out and take a swing.
All right.
Oh, 25 to hit.
Would you like to rage?
I hadn't planned on raging yet.
Okay. All right. That definitely hits.
Only 6 damage.
All right. And I think at level 5 you have extra attack.
I do indeed. Well, that one will be a 19 to hit,
That will also hit.
which gets me 5 damage. Terrible
All right.
damage rolls.
Yeah, as you look around, like, these folks are basically like unarmored people. You're very easily able to cut into them. Although, as bloodletter slashes across them, your axe scores these deep cuts. They don't bleed like they should. This should be showering blood everywhere. Their flesh seems to be mutated all the way through. So you're cutting through layers, these sort of spontaneously generated layers of a leathery carapace with spines and tendrils sticking out of it.
Well, that's deeply unsatisfying.
Yup.
Only big word that piranha know.
So one of the creatures whose faces have split, it flails even wider, and like fins and things shoot up around its head, and it lets out an echoing scream that sounds like a miniature version of what you just heard. I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw. And Levi, these are usually towards the top of the screen on the left side. Awesome.
Oh, nice.
It's a good first wisdom save. So, Piranha, Cedric, and Levi are unaffected. Nim and Gregor, this horrible wailing sound just rips through your mind. You're just hit with this overwhelming... It's not just a sound, but it's flashes of images and sensations. And for just a second, you know what it feels like to have your face split like this. And you have a sense of something swimming deep in the waters below. So, back up and look again. So Nim and Gregor, you are stunned until the end of that creature's next turn. All right. The next one. Zoom in a little here. It charges up at Piranha, and the horrible mouth opens, and it's going to make a bite attack. Yeesh, 23 to hit.
Oh, that just barely hits.
That is 8 points of piercing damage. And that is also going to rake at you with its claws. It's a 21 to hit.
Yeah.
That'll be 10 points of damage. The next one... Mark the one that shrieked. The next one is going to run towards Nim. And it's going to make the same set of attacks. A bite, 13 to hit,
Miss.
and a claw. 16 to hit.
Again, assuming we're in armor, that's a miss.
Yep. And also, for your mind palace here, armor is a little bit different in the Starry Sea. Big, heavy, bulky, metallic armor would cause you to drown real quick. This armor is more like... You might almost think of more like a bodysuit with like strips of material on the outside that are carved with spells and then infused with stardust. So as soon as this thing swings at you, like glimmering, translucent armor just erupts across your body, and the claws and the teeth just scrape against it, and it actually makes a kind of a ringing sound, and it can find no purchase. And Nim, it is your turn.
Am I still stunned?
Oh, yes, you are stunned. That's real quick then. Cedric. You are up.
All right. How close? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. I just was rereading this weapon you gave me, Colby. The one that I hit needs to make a con save at the beginning of its turn, if it didn't do that already.
Yep. I'll mark it with the bleedy dot. All right. It will make it on its next turn.
My apologies.
No worries.
All right. How close are these? Well, first of all, do I know that this is irreversible and I need to put them down?
Make a religion or medicine check. And I would say you'd probably make this with advantage.
First is a 19 and a 10, so that'll be a 19.
Yeah. This does not seem reversible with the resources you have on hand.
Okay.
If you had a whole line of powerful clerics, maybe. But certainly with what's on the ship, this is not fixable.
Okay. All right. So Cedric will pull out his mace, and he will say, "By the light in Celestial." And when he says that, the mace begins to pulse gently with holy light, and he's going to approach the nearest creature and swing the mace at the creature.
All right. I will put you in. You are flanking with Nim. So go ahead and roll with advantage.
First roll is a 23,
That'll definitely hit.
and then the second roll is a 16. So we'll take the 23.
All right.
All right. All right, so that's going to be 6 bludgeoning damage.
All right. You should also have some radiant to roll.
Oh yeah, that's right, because of the
Because it's fancy. So that'll be an extra 1d8 radiant damage.
1d8. Okay. 1d8. All right, so that's another 3 radiant damage.
All right. And if you refresh, I just dropped a button onto your D&D Beyond, so that'll be easier to hit. All right, you knock a good chunk out of it.
All right, and I believe that is Cedric's turn.
All right. Gregor, I believe you are stunned. All
I do
right.
see that. Thank you.
Gritting his teeth to move.
So even though you're stunned, you hear a tapping sound. Tink, 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 tink. Tink, tink, doom, doom, doom. Something is smashing the side of the hole. A massive tentacle bursts through one side of the bridge. It pierces through, and most of its bulk is filling the hole that it left, but water immediately starts to soak into the floor underneath. And this tentacle is flailing about. It attacks one of the crew members. Yikes. One of the random crew members is wrapped up in this tendril, and the tendril is mostly dark and murky at this point. And then you see, it's almost like this crew member goes gray, and you see radiant multicolored stardust flow up the tendril, and then this crew member just goes to dust and falls to the ground as a pile of ash. Levi,
The
you are
stardust goes from the crew member.
from the crew member through the tendril.
Tendril absorbed it.
Yep. So Levi, you have some fun options here, because you are touching the spell engine. There are crew members manning different stations, including some weapons. You can either use your turn to attack something inside, or you can use an action to basically buff the damage that the ship will deal to whatever's outside.
Okay. So I'll attempt to buff the ship to fight the tentacle.
All right. With your hand on the crystal, this murky blue-black magic flows out of your hand and pulses down through the crystal. You can actually see it running through the arcane patterns on the floor of the deck. And it pulses through a station where a crewman is standing. They rapidly press some buttons, change some controls, and then they slam down on a panel. And when they slam down, light pulses through the whole panel, and you hear something outside charging. And the tendril like flails, and whatever is out there has been at least profoundly surprised by this. All right, we'll call that your action. As a bonus action, you are a fathomless warlock, which is real fun. You're being attacked by tentacles, but you can actually summon a tentacle with your bonus action and use it to attack things.
Okay. So how do I do that?
So this is called your Tentacle of the Deeps. You use a bonus action and you mark off one use, and then it will attack an enemy of your choice. And the cool thing is, it hangs around. And so for the next minute, you can use it on your turn to keep attacking things.
Okay. So I'm supposed to roll for it?
Yep. So If you look under your Actions tab, under Bonus Actions, you should see Tentacle of the Deep's attack. And if you just press the +7, it'll roll an attack for you.
So it said it rolled and everything. Should be.
Oh, yep, an 18. That will definitely hit. With one hand on the crystal, you pull out this dagger that was a gift from your father. And when you pull it out, it's just like a hilt in your hand. And you run just a little bit of magical pressure through it. And this blue glowing blade extends out. And you point with the blade, and a tentacle of glowing blue and gray water just spirals up from the floor and smacks into one of these creatures. So go ahead and hit damage, which is right next to the attack button you hit. Nice. 5 points of damage. I'll just create another tentacle, and it'll be yours. All right. Some of the other creatures are going to move and attack. Let's see. There's one that Piranha has hit. It's going to try and hit back.
Don't forget its con save.
Oh, good point. Con save. It gets a 4, so that's how much extra damage?
An extra 1d6. You want me to roll it?
Yeah, go for it.
Five. Better than my
Nice.
actual damage rolls.
So the wound that you had left on this thing, it's so deep. This creature is just bleeding out, and as it goes to attack you, you can actually see it sort of. And actually, you would know this. This creature is now below half health. You can feel a bit of that frenzy stirring up inside. It is going to try and attack. It desperately flails with a half humanoid, half fishy hand. That's an 8 to hit. It's not going to hit.
That's a miss.
A 12 to hit.
Is a miss.
And then a tendril bursts out of its neck with a 21 to hit.
Okay, yeah, that hits.
It deals 4 points of damage, but also you are now grappled. So this tendril comes out of its neck and whips around you, and you're now locked in this thing's horrifying embrace.
Ew.
One of them is going to take a swing at Mr. Goodman. Unarmed strike. It's an 18 to
stand there.
hit.
Hit.
Oh. Oh, yeah, with a 17, it actually does hit. It's going to deal 3 points of damage. Swings again. 16 to hit, does not hit. And then it also is going to sprout a tendril for a 15 to hit, which will not hit. So, as this thing comes at you, your armor flares to life. Radiant light pulses through it. And it manages to fend off most of the creature's attacks.
That's a creature that stunned me. Turn.
This
gone again.
This is not one of the ones that stunned you.
Okay.
It looks like there are maybe 2 different kinds of mutation happening here. The ones with the split faces, that's the one that screamed. This is one of the others. All right, and we're back to the top with Piranha.
All right. Well, the good news is probably everybody's too busy focused on their own things to notice what happens with Piranha. But if you were looking at him, his transformation is eerily similar to these creatures as his pupils dilate and just get bigger and bigger, his nostrils flare, and his lips pull back into a huge grin as the bloodlust takes him. And now I will rage. And after that beautiful description, just a simple smashy smashy. Let's see, so I should be adding an extra something to this, right?
So you actually have an item you can equip that'll pop all your rage stats on there, but then you also deal an extra, I think, +2. What's your rage damage at?
Yeah, it will be an extra +2. Okay, so the hit roll doesn't change, so that's still a 16 to hit.
Yep, that'll hit.
There we go. 14 damage.
And that's before the +2, right?
Well, that's with the rage equipped.
Oh, but yes, Piranha is playtesting a homebrew subclass called the Bloodseeker, which is a shark totem barbarian. So Piranha deals extra rage damage to creatures who are below half their health.
So then, yes, that will be 16 damage.
And it's very important because that's exactly enough to kill it.
Very nice.
I immediately start looking around what's the next closest one and charge at it.
There's actually one right next to you, so you
don't even have to move. Charge. Axe goes straight through one and into the next one. Does a 14 hit.
14 hits.
For 8 damage.
All right. You take a good chunk out of it. It is the top of the screaming creature's turn. So everybody is no longer stunned. And they're going to attack. One of them attacks one of the crew members, a half-elven woman who immediately whips out 2 hard light daggers and just like parries the blows away.
Are one of the screamers adjacent to me?
Yes, there is one.
All right.
And it's actually going to, since it's so neatly organized, it's going to make one attack with its bite against Obi, which is going to be a 15.
I don't like him. I'm going to Sentinel reaction to make an attack against him.
All right, go for it.
Nope, we're going to miss with an 8. Still recovering from being stunned. Could barely get the greatsword out of the sheath.
One of the ones that was in the box.
All right, so one attack against him, and it'll be one attack against you.
We're sure we're not dying of carbon monoxide.
23 to hit.
That will hit.
Deals 7 points of slashing damage. All right. Next one. There's one left. Where is it? Oh, yeah. It's the one that's right next to Piranha. It's going to attack Piranha. So it just tries to bite back. 18 to hit.
That's a hit.
6 points of piercing damage.
I take 3.
And a 22 to hit.
Ow.
6 points of slashing damage.
I take 3.
All right. Nim, you are not stunned and you're ready to go. What do you want to do?
All right, we're going to start as a bonus action to make my echo behind the screamer right next to me.
All right.
And we're going to start attacking it.
All right, go for it.
Does a 14 hit?
14 does hit.
For 11 points of damage.
Nice.
That one's still up.
Yep.
All right, we're going to attack again. For 23.
That'll hit.
For another 11 damage.
Piranha, your head snaps around. That thing just went below half health.
All right, and we'll trigger Echo Knight to allow my Unleash Incarnation to get one more attack on it.
All right.
26 to hit.
That'll hit.
For another 11.
Very consistent. This creature is badly hurt. Also, be sure, if you haven't already, take a close look at your magic item.
Yep,
Your
I can only do
greatsword-
it when I flicker.
Yeah, it has some fun stuff on it. So you're shimmering. So you've got basically a hilt with this shimmering blade coming off of it, of this stardust and hard light coalesced together.
That was what I was going for with the model. I'm glad that's what you thought.
Yep. All right. It is Cedric's turn.
Alrighty, so the creature that I attacked, is it still up?
It is. It is. Actually, also, just for fun, Nim, go ahead and re-roll 2 of those attacks because you would have had advantage.
Oh, yeah. I actually would have had advantage on all of them, but yeah.
Just seeing if we got any
No,
crits.
none of them crits.
All right. Cedric, you're up. You are flanking a very injured, screaming creature between you and Nim.
Alright, so Cedric is going to swing his mace again at the creature.
All right. Roll with advantage.
Alright, first roll is a 25. And the second roll is a 12. So we'll take the 25.
All right.
And that's going to be 8 bludgeoning damage.
It's getting real close to death.
And 2 radiant damage.
All right. Anything else you'd like to do?
Nope, that's Cedric's turn.
All right. Gregor.
All right, there's one of these creatures that's right by me that attacked.
Yes, you have one non-screamer right next to you.
Okay, is it adjacent to any of my allies?
It is not.
Okay. Then I will using my sword. So I've got this, what is it called again? The Starblessed Greatsword.
Yep.
Nice. So it's essentially a shimmering blade made of glimmering stardust conformed into the shape of a blade. So it's like a lightsaber. But the size of a greatsword. So I'm gonna cast Booming Blade and make an
Alright.
attack.
Go for it.
Alright. $11 to hit does not hit.
Let's see. 11 actually hits. These are unarmored, fleshy things.
Ooh, yay. Alright, so I'm gonna do some damage. Alright, so that's gonna be the 2d6 plus 5.
Nice.
Plus For the sword, I get a 1d6 radiant damage.
It is profoundly
And
hurt.
then it'll also take 1d8 sonic damage from the booming blade. Another 3 on top of that.
All right.
And it must make a DC 15 wisdom saving throw. With disadvantage, I think.
That's only if you're doing your divine smite.
No, it's one of the equipment on the sword.
Right. It's when you deal damage with your divine smite ability.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I gotcha.
No,
I did not do that.
All right. So you bring your blade down, and there's just this resounding, like, gong sound. And this creature goes from looking fairly, twisted but healthy, to just being, like, blasted with all of this radiant power. That was your... Oh, no, you're a weird multi-class thing, so you don't have extra attack.
Not unless I down them. Yep.
All right. The tentacle is actually closest to you. It is going to try and attack you. Ooh. 21 to hit.
As I see it, I reflexively cast shield.
All right. I assume that bumps you up above 21.
It puts me at 22.
All right. So these celestial sort of runic formulas that channel stardust for your magic flare up, and the hard light armor that's over you sort of warps and flows for a second and just becomes this sheer wall of rainbow light, and the tentacle smashes against it but cannot get through. All right. Levi, you are up.
Okay. What is...
I lost a word there. I heard what is, and then...
Close to me. Near me.
So you've got a little bit of distance because you're up on the spell engine platform still. When in doubt for a warlock, your Eldritch Blast cantrip is a very good way of dealing damage. Basically, you get to fire off 2 magic bolts, and then you can also attack with your tentacle if you want.
Okay. So, let's do the Eldritch Blast.
All right.
And can I aim for one of the Screamers?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I'm just gonna roll. +8.
Yep. Yeesh. Yeah, I think a 27 will hit
Okay.
against their 11 armor class.
Damage.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice. So your first bolt blasts away the wounded screamer that's in the midst of Cedric and Nim. So you've got another bolt to fire.
Okay. How many Screamers?
That's the first one to actually die.
Okay.
There's one fighting Pranya, and there's one attacking the crew member with knives off to the side.
Okay. Can I attempt to fire one fighting?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
That'll hit.
Okay. 7.
7 points. All right. And go ahead and roll a tentacle attack. That'll hit.
Okay.
Nice. So you just become this whirlwind of eldritch death. One bolt blasts out and finishes off one of the wounded creatures. And then almost simultaneously, you fire off a bolt at another one. And at the same time, your tentacle like spins and disappears into the water that's now up to about ankle level, and then bursts back up out of the water and attacks the same creature. All right.
Not too bad for a cheating card play.
Yeah, not bad at all. All right. The very injured one next to Goodman is going to try and attack him. Jeez, they're rolling real good. 23 to hit. Oh, but you still have your shield, right?
It put my AC at 22, though.
All right. So the first one manages to punch through, but the second one is blocked by that. So that's 4 points of bludgeoning damage, and it is going to try and tentacle attack. That's a nat 1. This tendril like just flails helplessly, hitting this rainbow wall you've put between you. The remaining one is engaged with another crew member. And we're back to the top with Pranya.
Yay.
Oh, and I probably owe you some bleeding damage, don't I?
Oh, yeah, I think you do.
All right, con save. Oh, that one's going to be a 16.
Ah, well, that succeeds.
It does not bleed profusely, just the normal amount. And then it's your turn.
Boo. I'm gonna make it bleed more. Only a 17 to hit.
That'll do it.
Okay, 17 damage as well.
Jeez. You hurt it real bad.
Oh, it's not down?
It is not. It does drop below half health.
Oh. I attack it again.
All right. You get your extra damage this time.
I miss.
You know what? I'm going to say that you can flank with Levi's tentacle. So go ahead and roll that with advantage.
Oh, I appreciate that. 16 will hit.
That will hit. Roll damage.
At 19.
Cool. It went from pretty healthy to almost dead. And it will bleed next turn. All right. This one of the creatures is pretty hurt. The crewman with the knives, this half-elven woman, is just slashing this thing over and over and over. And then it is time to see if this one dies. The one you were fighting bleeds to death.
Huzzah!
Which I think will activate your Great Axe since you dealt the damage.
Yes, it does.
That puts us to Nim's turn.
How close am I from the next screamer?
For the next screamer, you are about 25 feet.
Cool. So my shadow and I will run towards it, or we'll move towards it up next to it.
All right. You're now flanking with the knife-wielding crewman.
All right. How much life does this one is almost dead? You said. No,
this-
the other one is almost dead.
The other one is dead. It bled to
Okay.
death. This one is hurt, but not dire yet.
All right. So first attack on it. I just go out with the greatsword. Oh, we're gonna hit it.
That'll hit.
Yep. 20 to hit, 7 damage.
All right.
We will attack it a second time. 9 is going to miss. Oh wait, no, I'm flanking.
Yep.
There we go. 24 will hit.
Roll damage.
10 damage.
All right.
And we will swap places. Nope, can't do that. Because it costs movement, and that was all my movement. So we'll be good there.
All right. Pranya, your head snaps around. That creature just fell below half health. Cedric, you are up. The creature you were fighting got its head blasted clean off by Levi.
Okay, so what's the next nearest creature to me?
The next nearest creature is a non-screamer to the west of you that's fighting with another crewman.
And what's the next? Is there a screamer within range to me?
Yes, it's the one that's very hurt and fighting Nim.
Okay. So Cedric is going to approach the screamer fighting Nim, and he's going to swing his mace at it.
All right. Nine is not going to hit.
Would he be
Does
flanking?
he get advantage on that or no?
I've got the knife wielding crewman and Nim are diagonal. The Echo is to one side, and the creature has its back to one of the consoles.
Okay, so then that would be his turn then.
All right. Mr. Goodman, you are engaged with a badly injured, non-screaming creature.
Excellent. Before swinging, I look at where my next potential opponents are. Are there any more of these within about 10 feet of where we're at?
The tentacle is about 25 feet. The next closest enemies are 45. Weirdly, both the same distance.
Okay, like 40 each different directions. Got it. All right. Then I will go ahead and swing in again with Booming Blade.
All right.
That's a better roll.
Yeah, that'll do it.
All right, 10 plus 8. So
That's
another 22.
That's already plenty. How do you want to kill it?
I don't know. What do these things do when they die? Do they explode into stardust? Or Icar?
They're more of the Icarus type, but your weapon would sort of blast some ambient stardust.
Yeah, I want to try to blast it away from at least myself. I want to stay a little bit cleaner.
All right. So as you swing your greatsword, this sort of cloud of energy that's in a little bit more of a nebulous shape suddenly snaps together and forms a coherent blade that just simultaneously slashes and pummels this thing, and it like sprays across the back wall.
Excellent. With that, I'm going to go ahead and use my movement to go down to that next one that was about 25 feet away.
All right, that is the big tentacle that came through the wall.
Excellent. And I'm going to swing in at that as well. Using a
All
bonus
right.
action, great weapon master attack.
Go for it.
It's a 24 hit.
That'll hit.
Excellent. For 12 damage to that's radiant.
All right. It was somewhat hurt. Whatever it's attached to got blasted outside earlier, and you shear off a good chunk of it.
Excellent.
All right. And it is that creature's turn. Oh, you sure done pissed it off.
Bet.
It swings at you and it crits.
Nice knowing you, folks.
Yikes. That is 28 bludgeoning damage, and you are grappled and restrained. Yowza. All right, Levi, it is your turn.
Okay, so after that last turn, I see the tentacle. The next biggest I'll
Yep.
deal with. So I attempt to Eldritch Blast it.
All right. Look at you. You've already got Warlock mastered.
19.
That'll hit.
Okay. Damage roll 6.
For any first-time viewers who are not familiar with the class design of the Warlock, they use Eldritch Blast a lot. All right, so you've got another Eldritch Blast and your tentacle attack.
I'm just gonna go all in. On my Eldritch. 9.
9 will not hit.
Okay. Now I roll. Do I roll for the
Oh,
attack?
yes, it's under your bonus actions.
Yep. That 13
That'll hit.
and a damage roll 5.
All right. That thing is barely hanging on by a thread.
Dang.
All right. This one is actually dead. And this one is getting pretty hurt. The creature, the last remaining non-screaming creature, viciously eviscerates one of the crewmen, and then turns and fires some kind of needle out of its mouth towards the crew woman with the knives, and it misses badly. That wrapped them up real quick. Pranya! Everything in this room is bleeding terribly. There is so much blood literally in the water beneath your feet.
Wonderful. What's the nearest thing to me that's bleeding?
There is a very injured screamer about 40. There is a very injured non-screamer about 40. And there's a very injured tentacle about 30.
So that's the tentacle that has me.
Yes.
I'm in the mood for calamari. I just lunge straight at that tentacle.
All right. Make an attack.
And 18 to hit.
That'll hit.
And it's bleeding, so I'll get the bonus damage, which means 18 damage.
How do you kill it?
As I leap through the air, the axe comes down and cleaves what little bit was left, because you said it was hanging on by a thread, so I'm going to take that in the literal sense instead of the metaphorical sense.
Oh, it was very literal. So Bloodletter comes down, and there's this like red mist pouring off of it now, like the blood in the room is evaporating and gathering around your axe, and it just shears and cuts off this tentacle. Immediately, there's a burst of water into the room, and one of the crew members runs up and starts like activating some kind of like arcane bulkhead, and the flow of water starts to drop a little bit. So you get temporary hit points again if you want to re-roll them.
Those don't stack, right?
No.
Well, we'll see if I get more.
I don't know if you can. You're now 65 feet away from any other enemy.
Well, how many feet did it take me to get to the tentacle?
30.
All right, then I will move 10 feet closer to the next closest thing.
All right. So the rest of you from the outside are just seeing Piranha like just this horrifying creature kills this tentacle that's 4 times as big as him, and then turns and is looking for something else to kill. All right.
You're on my side, Pranya.
The last remaining Screamer
Shutting the tentacle off.
is going to try and make some attacks. It's going to roll a 20 against... it's going to roll that against Nim.
A 20 will hit.
All right. 7 points of piercing damage. And it's going to slash with a claw. That's only a 10 to hit.
Who's that attacking?
You as well.
Yep, that'll hit. Oh, no, 10 won't hit. Sorry.
I was like, wait, what? What are
No,
you wearing?
no.
This is
Won't
my
hit.
t-shirt of protection. And that makes it your turn.
All right, well, we'll start by attacking it once. See, you said that thing's low.
It is very hurt. Pranya is eyeing it in a way that's very uncomfortable. That'll hit.
No, yep. For 10 points?
All right. It is hanging on by a thread.
All right, so we'll take a second attack after it. With a... Okay, that one didn't matter, so the 22.
That'll hit.
And a nice 10.
All right. It is like... But it is barely on its feet.
All right, we will unleash the incarnation again to kill this thing.
All right.
All right,
That'll
so
hit.
22. How did dice get stuck in a digital game? 9.
All right. Like a Final Fantasy character, you just unleash this impossible number of slashes with your massive sword, and your echo is like flickering back and forth, and it's just more slashes than makes any sense. And this thing just Icar and Carapace just go in every direction.
Yeah, that's kind of how I picture it. Just like a bunch of slashes, and who knows what's real.
There is one very injured, non-screaming creature left to the north, and it is Cedric's turn. Cedric. Obi. Roosevelt. There we go.
Sorry. I'm still not Cedric.
I know,
That
new
still hasn't gotten
character,
my
it doesn't
name.
register.
Yeah, it doesn't register. Now, if you call me Torin, which is my paladin, my Dragonmon paladin, I'll respond all day. All right. So the screamer that Cedric attacked, is he still alive?
Nim just Final Fantasy 7'd that creature into like 14 pieces.
I'll take that as a no. All right. Who's left?
There is one last creature to the north, engaged with a crewman. It's pretty hurt.
Am I within range?
Oh, it's no longer engaged. It killed that crewman. You are 15 feet away.
Okay. So Cedric will approach that creature with his mace and attack it.
All right. Go for it.
And that is 15.
That'll hit. How do you want to finish it?
All right. So he is going to swing the mace with all his might right at the creature's head.
Excuse me. All right. So you bring down this radiant mace, and it just obliterates this thing's skull. It just whoosh, everywhere. And it is eerily silent, except for this dull trickle of water pouring into the room. In the distance, you can hear screams and the sounds of combat as whatever this is seems to have happened in other parts of the ship as well. So we're going to fast forward a little bit now. The cleanup is gruesome and terrible. Not only are these things sort of these twisted abominations, but there are still like recognizable elements of people that you were serving with on the Acheron. Captain Charon is particularly grim through this whole process, but offers what memorial is possible and gathers up remains as best they can. It's almost disturbing how well the ship's arcane sort of cleaning systems manages to wipe away all traces of this. After about a day, the only mark that this happened is that the ship is quite a bit emptier, and there is now a shining new section of interior hull in the bridge where the tentacle burst through. Gregor, make another perception check.
Two one.
I always forget I have to like actually look at it and not just zone out. Yeah, very excellent perception check. You don't forget this strange thing that you saw on your ship's sort of arcane radar. And with some effort, you manage to sort of clear up the image. There was something truly massive underneath the ship. Something that not only dwarfs the ship itself, but would maybe be comparable in size to one of the stars, and even maybe the colony that grows up around it. Make an Arcana or Nature check. something about the way that tentacle ripped not just the life, but sort of the arcane essence out of that crewman. It haunts you a bit, but you can't quite figure out what to make of it.
Would, having served with the crew for a while, would I know anyone else's history to go ask for their input?
Make an insight check.
I like that one.
Nice.
All right. You rack your brain. There was a researcher serving on the ship, but one of the creatures seems to have cornered and killed them during the altercation. You do know that there was an apprenticed researcher who might be able to help.
I will try to track him down.
All right.
Before I do anything else, have we done any resting?
Yes. This is sort of taking place over a long span of time. Everyone can take a long rest.
That's at 6 hit points.
Yep, that'll restore everything, all your charges and abilities and whatnot. So you managed to track down this apprentice. They are very shell-shocked. But they give it a shot. With the information that you have, roll a d20 plus 5. Oops. You might have to tell me that one. I don't think that it automatically came through. Oh,
That's not
it's going
it.
to. Oh, 5d20. Wow, a 53 on 5d20 is not great.
How do you make it do +5?
I don't think you can just from there. You'll just have to...
Okay. I'll take a 11.
They are just... I mean, they're just wrecked. Like, even with some coaxing, they go back and do a little bit of research, and honestly, there's a couple of different kinds of creatures that do things like this. It's almost more of a class of creature than something specific. You just know that there are things that seem to thrive off of pulling the arcane energy out of other creatures.
And I understand that was tough. If you come across anything in the works, please don't hesitate. This might save us should we encounter it in the future.
All right. So, Nim, make a history check.
$20.
All right. So, all of this craziness that happened has really sort of messed up your world. There was a lot of damage. In the midst of all of it, it's just sort of hard to keep track even really of, like, things might have gone missing, things might have been damaged. But you do start to notice you're going over the list of, what was damaged, who was lost during the fight, and all of that. And as you're getting close to your destination, it occurs to you, it seemed like there was a disproportionate number of those who changed who were part of your staff.
So, like, Quartum in the supplies department?
Yes.
I'm going to go and find the captain and report that.
All right.
And I'm going to, at the same time, voice my opinion about that strange large crystal that I've noticed, because it would make sense that my staff might be the only ones who have been exposed to that.
All right.
Because it's either that or all the sushi has gone bad.
Don't be blaming my sushi.
Make a survival check. You're trying to track down the captain on the ship.
Nope, I'm sidetracked by a thing of card games.
Well, and what you discover is you don't know where the captain is. And in fact, like, it kind of seems like nobody knows where the captain is.
It really would help if my version of searching didn't look like a Scooby-Doo episode, where it's me and my Echo just looking in every random place.
And occasionally you do like the head over head.
Yeah.
Inside the barrels and
Yeah, that's my version of looking.
under the rugs.
Like, why would the captain even be in our freezer? Okay, so I will see if I can find. Is it technically first mate, Gregor?
Yeah, we'll go with first mate.
Do I find him?
Yes.
Gregor, mate.
Ahoy.
Do you know where the captain is?
I assume that I likewise do not know where the captain is.
You make a survival check. With a 14, it's a pretty big ship. And honestly, like, without, you don't have as much crew as you had before. You just can't find him. There hasn't been any more violence since the attack, but as you're trying to hunt him down, you just can't figure out where he would be.
Have I seen him since the event?
You've seen him once or twice.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
looked, I mean, he's
gave us
looked
speech.
real bad. Is the kind way to put it.
So
What brings you to search for the captain?
I have this really important information that I should probably give to the captain.
Well, we are unable to find them. Start with me. We can.
How do you
wait to act on
lose
it.
the captain? We live in something the size of a sardine can.
It's a little bit larger than a sardine can, but
But how do you lose someone? It's a closed ship.
I mean, people have like private chambers, and there's places to lose track of somebody.
Wait, people get private chambers?
I mean, like officers
I-
and folks.
I need to stop sleeping in my
Some of us, yeah.
boxes. But I don't know. This is really important, Gregor. I should probably give it directly to the captain.
I think you should give it directly to me. And we can continue to look for the captain, or we can act on it and not delay.
Okay. I'm going to hand over the information I have about the crew coming from, like, the pattern of the crew, and also my suspicions about that really weird power source that I've never seen before.
Gotcha. Knowing the rest of the crew, if I do know them, do any of the other crew members seem to fit in with that pattern as well?
Nobody has really had any issues since then. Yeah, it's for the most part things have been morose. Might be the word. Very sad across the ship, but nothing else crazy has really happened. But I would say you also have not seen anything like this device.
Giant crystal that's the size of a car.
I mean, in some ways, it looks like a standard sort of arcane battery, but on a scale you've never seen before. Like, the enchanted sort of stardust-filled crystals that power your weapons are like the size of a thumbnail.
And I had no awareness of this being loaded onto the ship or being on the ship before.
I mean, all of the like paperwork for it looks correct. It's just the item itself that's unusual.
What's it listed as on the paperwork?
Basically, arcane power source.
Okay, nothing so obvious as like arcane battery Volkswagen size of doom.
I mean, like you've got like dimensions for it and weight and all that stuff listed. Again, it seems like what it's supposed to be. It's just weird. And while this back and forth is happening, Nim, Levi, and Piranha.
Cedric?
Oh, not Nim. Sorry, you're right. Cedric, Levi, and Piranha. I was like, wait, hold on. Yeah.
Or Nim Shadow.
So
He's looking at stuff around the room.
So, Cedric, as you're trying to sleep, you awake to find yourself in the dark.
In my room or somewhere else?
In fact, you're floating. You are deep, deep, deep into the dark ocean, out far beyond any light.
Yeah, that's definitely not my room.
And there are swirls of murky gray black. There's almost an anti-light coming off of them. Something that is so far in the other direction, it illuminates the water in a way that makes no sense. And as your eyes adjust, you're seeing these swirls and you realize there is something massive in front of you. A huge sort of spherical surface that goes on almost as far as you can see in every direction. And it's of this same murky, sort of blue-black anti-light. And then suddenly across the center, it's almost like it rips open. And you can see glimmering, yellow, flickering light. And you realize it is a giant slitted eye, as big as a star. And it's looking at you. And it makes your skin itch. You have markings now that you use to channel your divine magic of the light. And you can feel them like itching on your skin. And the itching gets more intense and almost painful. And everything starts to go dark around you as this murky darkness closes in. And suddenly all of your tattoos flare. And it just pushes back. And you awake in your bunk. Piranha.
Yeah.
Question before you continue. Cedric used to worship the void. Is any of those things something he'd be familiar with?
It sure seems something void adjacent.
Okay.
Piranha. So what was Piranha's, or what is Piranha's sort of religious practice?
Well, let's see. Not very devout. More goes with the flow of everybody else. Piranha is kind of a schooling type fish.
So you find yourself in a very similar state. You awaken to find yourself floating in this murky blackness. And this huge slitted eye tries to focus in on you. And you can't see anything of the rest of this creature, but you get the impression of a brow furrowed in frustration as you feel this, like, profoundly otherworldly mind trying to reach out to yours, and it just sort of, like, slides off.
You want a snack, bro?
There's a sort of wordless exhalation of frustration, and you just wake back up. Levi.
Yes.
You are in your bunk. Behemoth is snoring in the bunk above you. And you're not asleep. As you sit there, where does Levi keep the hilt of his dagger?
It's always in his pocket. Always, always.
You find that almost subconsciously you have taken out the dagger and started just playing with it a little bit. And as you're holding it, you start to hear this whispering voice. It's almost time. So close. I can feel the light. Soon. And the voice is familiar. This is the voice you hear when your father speaks to you, leading you on to the next task for you and your brother. And Behemoth continues to snore in the bunk overhead. So, with far less crew, you're all having to work sort of overtime to keep the Acheron running as you approach the Orphany colony construction site. But you make it. And actually, you can tell you're getting close because the ocean actually starts to brighten around you. For about a mile out, there is this swirling pattern of stardust. Huge spiraling clouds that are slowly condensing towards what is a nearly fully formed star at the center of this cloud. And you can see already there's like scaffolding in place. Some modular buildings are being constructed in a roughly sort of spherical frame, or what will be fully spherical, but for now is kind of a ring around this star. And as you get close, there's a sense of relief. This has been a bad trip. This is not the way you would want to do this. Captain Charon finally emerges as you get close. He reeks of alcohol. Like, real bad. But you see him sort of put on a bit of stage face. And he manages to guide the ship in towards a docking area. And as you get close, Nim, you didn't get a conclusive answer about this crystal. Have you been doing anything with the crystal?
I mean, I definitely haven't been like poking it. I probably handed the information I had up, but I've been so busy I haven't had a chance to really like investigate that specifically.
Is this a crystal that Levi would have been powering? You've been pumping?
No.
Energy.
So that's sort of a that one's almost more of an engine. It's been already sort of processed and has all these spells carved into it, literally. This is a giant battery. Oh, my dog is behind me.
But I've been able to sense anything like the amount of magical energy in it, given my background.
It looked pretty empty. There was just like a tiny flicker in the center. The nice thing about Stardust-powered technology is that it's very easy to see how powered it is because it literally glows with rainbow light. There's just been like faint rainbow sparks in the center of it.
If I had a chance, I probably would have looked at trying to infuse it with a small amount of arcane energy.
It's like putting a drop in a swimming pool. It's not like an impossible amount. It's not like it's just disappearing, but it is clearly like not a sufficient amount to make a difference.
but no out of the ordinary reaction though. It
No, it just seems like,
responds the same way any other battery.
yeah, it's just like, but it's a massive receptacle. So as you all head into dock, I'm going to call a 5-minute bathroom break, and we'll be right back.
So who else thinks they're going to drain the big star?
Who knows?
All right, I'll be right back then.
Sounds good, man.
So Colby, since you had something going on Monday, you didn't get to experience it. Rachel was using real dice on Monday because she had a physical character sheet, and Maisie, this was her first time with us playing D&D with physical dice.
Oh no.
So the dice are probably too big for her to swallow, but she was fascinated by them and rolled better than Rachel did. So we went to my dice collection and found 2 oversized 6-sided dice and a couple of oversized percentile dice, and those are now the cat's dice.
Nice. Oh man. This just reminded me of the first time I ever played D&D was at a game convention, and it's amazing that I wanted to come back and play more because it was like the worst, most beginner unfriendly game I've ever seen. It was 3rd edition. It was the first time I had actually played with people who knew what they were doing. It was 3rd edition, and they had some weird old Adventurers League rules where like you had like characters that were consistent across the convention campaign. And so I was like a level 1 sorcerer or wizard or something. I had like 2 spells for the whole day, and I was in there with like level 11 druids and crazy stuff. And the actual game itself wasn't awful, but they spent like 4 hours afterwards negotiating with an NPC for more loot. And when I say 4 hours, I mean it. Like, we were one of the last people in the hall. You could see the masquerade LARPers starting out on the balcony. And we were still there, and I was like 11, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
It was, whew, it was a whole thing.
Yeah, not a great first experience.
No.
But I tell you, if you go to a convention like that, you have to do the masquerade LARP overnight on the balcony. Those things are amazing.
Well, I was 11, and
Well, that's okay. That's fair.
my absolutely non-nerd dad was chaperoning, and it was like my birthday present that year was to go, and he was so far beyond done, and like couldn't leave me there, and just it was a mess.
But now, if you ever get a chance to go, anyone gets the chance to go to one of the cons and do a in-person overnight LARP of Vampire, it's a great time. I did a con once where I did D&D all day, ate dinner, went to my overnight LARP, woke up the next day, did it again, and it was a 4-day LARP or 4-day con.
Oh man,
It was pretty brutal by the end of it.
that starts to sound like youth camp. Like, LA by Night is on my watch list, but I don't really know enough about the system to understand what's going on. They just keep pulling out all these different kinds of dice to roll and like talk about all these like different clans and things, and I'm like, I don't know what these are. All right.
Sometimes you just have to acknowledge that watching them is going to be like that episode of
Black Mirror.
No, the one where they're trying to find the journal. Brain moment. Gravity Falls.
Oh yeah. All right. Looks like we have Roosevelt. Are you back? Apparently, not yet.
Womp womp.
The the hardest part of prepping for this was as soon as I started thinking about it, I was like, Oh my gosh, there are so many cool things you can do in this setting, and I basically have to pick one thing. We're going to do only one thing out of an infinite tapestry of oceanic adventure.
Yeah, it's a really cool setting. I was like, oh, so many fun characters to play.
I mean, this was literally one of those goofy, like, almost like you thought of it in a dream, and you just wake up and go, oh, huh, that would be cool.
How has no one done this before?
What's weird is I started working on it before Adventure Zone Ether Sea got up and running. Like, for over a year, I've had this bouncing around in my head, like, something underwater as space, star cities, something. Oh man,
Revisited Dream anymore?
I haven't gotten to play it again yet. I really want to, but I have. They don't always play, but I'm currently scheduled for about 30 hours of D&D a month. Of like actual in-person playtime. Or not in-person, but actual playtime. And about 2/3 of that is DMing. So,
Oof.
yeah.
Yikes.
I'm playing an Act Inc. game. And then I run an urban fantasy game, which Piranha is one of the players. And then I actually have an in-person game again, which is crazy. But it's a magic school setting.
Oh man, I can't wait to get in-person games going again in my town.
I was really excited. Although, of course, scheduling is crazy, so we're looking at moving
So it's right back
nights,
to normal.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh man, right back to normal. I have to give it to the Monday night / Tuesday night crew. Most consistent game I think I've ever done. I think we've only missed maybe like 5 nights in like a year and a half.
Sounds about right.
I love my Thursday night players, and it started as an in-person game before I moved. But some of them are notorious for like, it's like, oh, we should have started 10 minutes ago. Oh, I can't play. I'm in New Orleans, and it's like, you didn't know you were going to travel 8 states away until just this second. Oh. All right, Roosevelt. To keep us moving, I might just go ahead and get us started, and then we will fill him in. Oh,
There he is.
lives. There he is. All right. So right back into it. So you all were discussing this strange crystal. Gregor, you've poked at it a few times. Nim, you've tried to keep an eye on it. As your ship gets close to docking, most of the officers are up on board, having to handle different parts of the docking procedure. But you've been responsible. You've left one of the quartermaster assistants is down there, basically just keeping an eye on it until this thing is off your ship. Which is unfortunate for that assistant, because
Say, I left Kyle. I don't like him.
as you get close, we're going to go a little bit of third-person omniscient. So the 5 of you are on the deck, along with Captain Caron and a couple of others. You're scheduling kind of how you're going to get in and where you need to dock and all of this. And as the ship starts to draw within the last, like, half a mile of the sun, of this new star, and is passing through these stardust clouds, the crystal starts to glow just a little bit more. The rainbow sparks in the center start to swirl, and it starts to pulse and expand. And someone who is more observant than Kyle would see two eyes blink open inside this crystal. And then the crystal cracks and fractures, and the crystal hatches. A tentacle ropes out around Kyle, and in an instant, all of this arcane stardust that fuels his life is ripped away, and he falls into ashes.
Bye, Kyle.
And as this happens, you don't know this for a second that this is happening. And the first thing you're aware of is a terrible wrenching sound. And the whole Acheron like tilts to the side as gigantic tentacles burst out of the cargo hold, and this giant creature rips itself out. Water is flooding through the chambers and down the hallways. Folks are desperately trying to patch it up. And you see a truly massive creature push itself through the water on these 4 long tendrils. It looks almost like a strange amalgamation of like a jellyfish and a squid and a whale. Its whole body is mostly translucent, except for this huge growing cloud of radiant rainbow-colored stardust floating inside of it. And just occasionally blue, black, murky strands moving within that cloud. And it immediately starts heading towards this newborn star, and the tendrils wrap around, and you see more and more of the light start to suck into this creature, and it's growing. What do you want to do?
You had one job. I'm going to draw my greatsword, and my shadow next, or the echo next to me, is going to draw the greatsword and mimicking me.
We gonna Leroy Jenkins?
This squid Galactus must die.
All right, guys, let's do this. Leroy!
All right.
Wait. Fine.
There is an sort of an exit hatch. Captain Charon is desperately barking orders, and you can see like gunners moving to stations, and other folks are trying to run down and sort of get the water out. The whole ship is listing, and he turns to you all and says, "We're going to try and get it back online as fast as we can." He's immediately much more sober than he was a moment ago. "We're going to try and get it back online as fast as we can. You've got to slow that thing down."
Kill the thing. Got it.
You
How
got
far
it.
away is it now?
So the Acheron is... Let's see. The creature is on the edge of the star, and the Acheron is about, say, 100, 130 feet away. This is just open water. There are a few like platforms where you can see that like some construction has started, and they do seem to have oxygen shells around them.
Is the ship equipped with any like larger weapons?
Yes, there are some. One of the other spell engine people is pumping a ton of energy into the ship, just trying to run all of the repair mechanisms. They might be able to get some of those up and going after a while, but it's probably not going to be immediate.
I am diving in and swimming after it.
All right. Even with bloodletter on your back, this is your natural element. You just jet through the water. And there's 2 large platforms, 2 medium platforms, and 3 small platforms.
How bulky are the breathing apparatuses?
So you can grab something. You can rely on the oxygen shells on the platforms, or you can basically, if you grab it, it's like it's fairly substantial. You'd probably move at about half speed.
And you said there's platforms that I could try to make it across.
Yes.
I'm gonna get closer as I can. If I can get within 120 feet, I'll fire off a couple Eldritch Blasts
All right.
on my way to get closer.
You can easily do that. So you make it to the first of the platforms. What do the rest of you want to do?
Well, no way I'm going to be outshined by a locanth. I'm going to jump into the water and swim after it as well.
All right.
Same thing. Swim, fire off Eldritch.
All right, I'll put you on the same platform.
I probably won't be aiming for the platform. I'll make a beeline towards it.
Yep.
All right.
I'll go for the platform, but unfortunately, I don't have any range. Anything I can do.
All right. So I've kind of got you all arrayed at this point. So let's go ahead and roll for initiative.
Okay.
$20.
All right. Man, it'd be real nice if it would let you leave the game log up so you could read it to put the initiatives in. Man, Levi is
now
just
you
getting
ask-
good initiative.
Now you asking for too much.
And 15. So as you draw closer, you can see that this creature is just completely distracted, absorbing as much stardust as it can. And actually the sort of frothing of all of this stardust into the water seems to be attracting other, we might call them arcanophages, other magic-eating creatures out of the water. You see several of those vicious-looking sharks that you spotted earlier with the bioluminescent streaks down their sides. And they're sort of literally snapping magic out of the water. Levi, you are first.
Quick question: how close can we? If I'm still on the platform, how close can I get to this creature? So I might have something I can do.
There's a small platform that'll get you there.
It will get me within melee range, or will it get me at least within 60 feet?
Oh yeah, it'll definitely get you within 60 feet.
Okay, all right, got it.
Okay, how close?
On the first platform, you're 80 feet away, or 75 feet away from this creature.
Okay, I'm gonna do what I do best. Fire out Eldritch.
All right. So I'll give you a Warlock pro tip. You
Okay.
have a spell called Hex. Hex is a bonus action, so you can use Hex and Eldritch Blast on the same turn. And once you put Hex on an enemy, every time you hit that enemy, you do extra damage.
Hey, that sounds
And you don't need to roll for it, and neither does it, so it'll just be hexed.
okay.
So go ahead and roll your Eldritch Blast.
A 14.
14 does not hit.
Okay. I can roll for my second one.
Yep.
Okay. 27.
27 definitely hits.
Okay. Roll for damage. Damage.
All right, so that's 9 on the hit itself. And then, if you look under your spells, you have Hex. I'm going to add it as one of your... Show it as an attack. There we go. Yeah, if you look under your bonus actions now, you should see, or refresh, and then under your bonus actions, you'll see Hex. And you can click it to deal the extra damage.
Okay. Second. Yep. Just roll for the extra damage.
All right, nice. And this combination gets truly crazy for a Fathomless Warlock because Hex will stay up for 1 minute. So if you summon your Tentacle next turn, you get that Hex damage on every single hit. So potentially 3 times in a turn.
Sick.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I played a Fathomless Warlock and it was so much fun. All right, action, bonus action, and move. It is Nim's turn.
So I'm going to... How far away am I? I'm probably just going to keep swimming after it.
Yeah, you can close to melee range this turn.
With full round or just movement?
Just movement.
All right, so I'm going to move up, and we will attack.
All right, go for it.
That's a net. That's a crit. Can you see that to confirm?
Yep.
$16 damage.
All right.
We will attack again. Does a 16 hit?
16 does not hit. This thing's hide, despite looking almost like sort of a transparent jellyfish's quality, it actually seems to be fairly tough.
All right, so we could probably catch right up behind it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be good.
All right.
How fast did it feel like it was moving?
It's pretty quick, but it also seems to be... but it also seems to be pretty focused on scarfing into this giant star.
Oh, is it stopped eating the star?
It's like it hasn't really turned to focus on you all yet. It's got its tendrils sort of stuck into the star, siphoning off energy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I misspoke. I meant, has it stopped moving to eat the star?
Yes.
Okay, so it stopped moving. Good. Okay.
Also, something else happens. When you slash into it, and when you actually manage to sort of pierce through some of this sort of thick hide, you are blasted with a burst of radiant energy, and you take 7 points of damage.
All right. Danger bleeding. Good to know.
Yep. All right. At the end of your turn, and I'm just going to go ahead and call it what it is, the Sun Eater
Yeah, that's a fair name.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I should clarify. The fledgling Sun Eater is going to use one of its legendary actions to make a tendril attack. It gets a 16 against Nim.
That is going to miss me.
All right. This massive tentacle suddenly like whips the other direction and tries to smack into you. All right.
No.
Pranya.
I immediately start raging and swim after the Sun Eater.
All right. You can close with it.
Then I slashy.
All right.
If 15 is a miss.
15 is a miss.
How's a 24?
24 will hit.
And 16 damage.
Whoa. You slash a giant chunk out of it. And you take 7 points of radiant damage as it's sort of blood. But I will mark it for its bleeding check. All right, that was action and bonus action. Anything else?
Well, and I moved to close to it.
Yep. All right, full turn. Gregor Alexander Goodman. It's your turn.
Excellent. How close am I to it?
So you got to the first platform. So you're about 70 feet away.
All right. I will likewise. I will continue moving forward, but as I do, cast Hex. And cast Eldritch Blast a couple times.
All right,
Double
go
moves.
for it.
Hey guys, target strength with your hex.
Well, and you can do multiple ones, so you can do strength for one, and strength's about the only one that ever matters.
I'm just thinking of it trying to grapple us with the tentacles.
Did you choose something for your Hex ability score wise?
I didn't mention that. So Hex adds extra damage, but you can also choose an ability score to give it disadvantage on checks with that ability score. Mostly it only matters for, like, maybe strength and dexterity. Most of the others don't tend to come up a whole lot.
Yeah, I'll just do strength.
Theory, if somebody's attacking with a certain save, then you could potentially use it to help them.
I will do Wisdom.
All right.
He's
Although
got
also
strength.
it doesn't affect saving throws. It's only ability checks, which is super weird.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Otherwise, it would be freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, fair.
All right, make your Eldritch Blast. You
First
rolled.
one was
18 hits.
That beam hits for 8 damage.
All right.
Second beam for 15 to hit.
15 does not hit. It sort of scatters off of this thing's hide.
Gotcha. And then I continue moving forward. I have to get to the next platform or whatever.
All right. At the end of your turn, one of the tendrils snakes out, and at first you think it's going to attack one of you all, and instead it wraps around this sort of glowing buoy that was sort of marking some of this construction area, and you see all of the light just blast out and is gone. And you can actually watch the stardust trailing down the tentacle and back to the main body. And you see some of its wounds heal a little bit.
Oh, fucker.
But not a lot.
Boo.
It rolled real bad. All right. it is the fledgling Sun Eater's turn. It's going to make an attack against Nim. That's a 16 to hit.
That is a miss. It bounces off my armor.
All right. Oh, yeah. Wait. It makes an attack against Piranha. That's an 18 to hit.
That is a hit.
That is 11 piercing damage
I take 5.
and 3 radiant damage.
I take all of that.
It's going to make another attack against Nim. That's a 15 to hit.
That's going to miss, but it's going to trigger my reaction sentinel.
That's right.
When it attacks Piranha, I'm going to use that.
All right. Go for it.
13 misses.
13 misses. With its last attack, the Sun Eater is going to try and swallow Piranha.
I disapprove.
Oh, it crits.
Oh my god.
Looks like the calamari wanted sushi for dinner.
So this is going to hurt. That's actually not terrible. 15 piercing damage.
I take 7.
And 10 radiant.
Ow.
So you are now swallowed. You are blinded and restrained. And you can feel energy starting to sort of leach out of you. You do notice, though, it sure looks awful squishy from the inside.
Excellent.
Yeah, buddy.
All right.
Question: if he has a melee, does he have a bite attack?
Does he have a bite attack?
Yes.
I don't think so, which is a
Don't
weird...
think I do.
I need to go back and revise this.
But since he's technically has unarmed strikes and he's inside of the creature that I'm attacking, am I flanking the creature?
Ooh, sure, why not?
That was more of a joke. I flank with the echo.
Well, so this is real tricky. The Echo is technically not a creature. The Echo is a magical object.
Right. The Echo is not a creature.
Which is
correct.
really screwy. Like, I've had to go look at I had to look up the Sage Advice column on that. And the official
Oh, that is true, yeah.
I looked at the same column because I had to deal with that myself.
Yep.
That is such a weird interaction because, like, they're both such, like, weird rules.
Yeah. Well, and it's partially because it's a critical role thing where it exists in that weird kind of official, kind of not.
With a pseudo homebrewed sort of rule with flanking.
Yeah. Trickster Rogue has a similar issue with some things.
Oh, do you mean Trickster Cleric?
Oh yeah, Trickster Cleric, sorry.
Well, we don't even talk about Trickster Cleric. It's horrible.
It's bizarre. Anywho, Cedric, it's your turn.
All right. So first, are any of my ship colleagues 30 feet away from me?
Let's see.
I have movement speed of 30, so I'm probably pretty close to that.
So Levi is within 30. You could move ahead on the platform and pick up... Oh, no, Piranha is in the creature. That's not going to work. So, yes, you could catch Levi right now, or if you wanted to swim, you could potentially catch Levi and Goodman.
Okay. And how far would I have to swim? First of all, I'm a Asimar. Is swimming going to cause me any issues? Or does my armor take care of that?
Yeah, that breathing thing would catch up to you eventually. I think it's Constitution score minutes.
That's underwater, right?
I guess in theory, though, I could swim and then just swim right back, right?
Yeah, as long as you get back to it every so often, you're probably fine.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to swim close enough to catch the both of them. and then I'm going to cast Bless on them and myself.
All right.
And then with my bonus action, I am going to cast Spiritual Weapon.
Yeah, I won't be a jerk. Technically, it's two spells in one turn, but it's a bizarre rule that hardly anyone ever does. So, all right, your spiritual weapon. What does your spiritual weapon look like?
It looks exactly like my mace.
All right.
Remind me what Bless does again.
So Bless gives you 1d4 to any of your attack rolls or saving throws.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. That is action, bonus action, and movement. So you're out in the water right now, but you can hold your breath for a good bit longer.
Okay.
All right. At the end of your turn, at the end of your turn, one of the tendrils is going to whip out and grab another one of those buoys. And you see more energy sort of churning up into this creature. Now some of the... that one's probably too far away. Nim and Goodman, both of you give me just a flat D20 luck roll.
Eight, not with me today.
All right. Even though there is sort of bountiful stardust flowing through the water, both of you have been sort of moving around and casting spells and making attacks, and you draw the attention of two of these scavenging shark creatures. Let's see. Nim, give me one more luck check. Give me another D20.
Nat 20.
All right, so I'll let you decide. Would you rather it attack you or your echo?
Give it to my echo the first time.
All right. Ooh, all right. It's going to pop your echo on the first hit. I think.
Nat 20.
No, it rolled real... Echoes only have one hit point.
Yep. But they have 17 AC.
Yeah, it got a 19.
Oh, yep. Then it kills it.
Then it's going to shift over, and it's going to make one against you.
Works for me. Soaked a hit. That was his job.
22 to hit.
That will hit still.
They are rolling real good. 10 points of piercing damage.
Is this happening on top of like one of the... Oh, he's in the water.
Yeah.
I'm on one of the platforms, right?
Yeah, you're on one of the platforms.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to give this creature disadvantage because it is trying to like jam its head through the oxygen shell. Cool. On the second one, it got a 17 and a 20. So it hits, but the good news is it doesn't crit. 12 points of piercing damage. And that puts us back to Levi. You are up.
Okay. So my hex is still active, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm gonna fire off the Eldritch Blast.
All right. Go ahead and roll them.
Roll 1, 13.
13 will not hit.
And roll 2. A 10.
10's not going to hit. Go ahead and roll your tentacle if you would like.
23.
That will hit. So roll damage for that and for Hex.
Okay. 10 for the tentacle, and then the hex.
All right. Your 2 Eldritch Blasts kind of like skitter off of this thing's hide, but your tendril swirls up out of the water and carves into it. Actually, also, you have a neat thing that your dagger can do. And if you don't do it now, you'll never get another chance.
I say, yeah.
Yeah, you can summon a bonus tentacle using your dagger.
I will do that. Do I just roll?
Yep, go ahead and roll another attack.
Okay. 23.
That'll hit.
Okay. And damage for is 8. Do I roll another hex?
Yes, that's what makes this thing ridiculous.
Okay. And the hex is...
You are still carving into this thing. All right. So your dagger glows this sort of blue-black, and a second tendril whips up out of the water and starts attacking. On initiative count 20. Oh, oops, wrong page. Which of these is worse?
The one that gives us puppies and rainbows?
I'll take puppies and rainbows, please.
I agree.
Puppies and rainbows for 400.
Piranha, make a charisma saving throw.
Charisma.
Yep.
Nice knowing you got crit.
Oh, nice. You feel this sort of life-draining magic flowing through the inside of this creature. So even though it looks sort of radiant and bright all around you, you're quickly realizing that you're basically in this thing's stomach. And it is trying to sort of digest the magic out of you. But you manage to push through. All right. That was initiative count 20. It is Nim's turn.
I don't love the fact that a shark just ate me. So we're going to manifest my echo right behind it
All right.
because that just confuses it. And we're going to start by attacking it.
All right. Go for it.
15 hit a shark.
Let's see. 15 does not hit a shark.
All right, we're going to try to attack it again. Does a 19 hit a shark
19 does hit a shark.
for 13 damage?
All right.
How much does that seem to hurt the shark?
You carved a pretty good chunk out of it. By this point, you've learned to keep an eye on Piranha, but Piranha does not... Oh, no, you can't even see Piranha. Never mind.
No. We're going to unleash the echo on the shark. 22
That'll hit.
for 11 damage.
It is very badly hurt.
You know what? We're going to action surge.
All right.
Going to attack the shark again. I don't like this shark. 11 is going to miss.
Yeah.
Let's see. 25 to hit the shark.
That'll hit.
11. Is the shark dead yet?
The shark is dead.
All right. And just because I want to do another attack, we're going to turn and attack the other thing with another unleashed incarnation.
All right.
But I think a 12 is going to miss.
12 is going to miss.
We're just going to Final Fantasy up in this place. And that's all my attacks.
All right. Piranha. Actually, I should do this. On the end of Nim's turn, the creature is going to make a tendril attack.
Oh, actually, hold on. The 1d4 might have actually applied to that. A 14 misses, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot I was blessed that entire time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, tendril attack.
Tendril attack against Nim, and it's going to hit. That's a
Ooh.
25.
Yep, that's enough.
It's going to be 8 piercing damage and 1 radiant damage, and you are now grappled and restrained. All right, then it is Piranha's turn. Piranha, you are inside the creature.
Yes, I am. Did it do its bleeding save, by the way?
It did not. Let's do that real quick. It's a 21.
Yeah.
It's a big sturdy boy or girl. Aberration.
Big sturdy tentacle thing.
So you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Oh wait, nope. You don't take a Constitution saving throw. I'm wrong. None of that happens. Never mind. It's your turn.
I don't need to worry about that 16 then.
Yep.
Can I save that for when I do need to make a Constitution saving throw?
Sure.
Okay, so just to make sure I know where I stand, I am grappled and restrained inside of it.
Yes, you stand inside its stomach.
Yes. And restrained means I can still attack, but I have disadvantage.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to
What I'll say is I'll probably call that a flat roll, because also it's hard to get a much better advantage than like it's creature in all directions.
Right. I was going to attack recklessly. So does that balance out to a advantage?
No, it can only ever go back to 0.
Okay. Well, it's going to have advantage against me anyways if I'm restrained.
Well, it also can't attack you, as far as you can tell.
Okay, so moot point. I'm attacking it.
All right.
13.
13 does not hit.
Even on the inside.
No.
Guys, it's a lot bigger in here. How about a 22 for my second attack?
22 will hit.
It takes 11 damage.
All right. As you slash it, you do see it kind of like twitch a little.
And I start looking around to see if I can find an exit.
All right. It is Gregor's turn. You are muted and blessed, and you have a shark in your face.
I have a shark in the water below me, right? Because I'm on a platform.
Yeah, it's basically like, so this oxygen shell pushes the water back with this sort of frothy cloud of bubble.
Okay.
The shark is like right on the edge and is occasionally like snapping its head through this permeable barrier to attack you. So it's like it's like right here.
Cool. And as a bonus action, can I move the hex to this shark?
Let me double check.
Or is that only the Hexblade's curse that you can do that with?
Well, I'm also wondering if it has to be dead. It has to be dead before you can move.
Okay. Got it. All right, no worries. And I will go ahead and attack.
All right.
Does an 18 hit?
18 will hit.
Excellent. I'll take 10 from the blade and an additional 5 radiant damage.
It is pretty hurt.
And that is all I can do this round unless I want to go in the water, right? Muted.
Did you attack twice? Oh, no, you don't have extra attack. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, I have 1 attack.
I think that is it then.
So I could go in the water towards the next platform.
Yes.
But I make it to the next platform.
You're also going to have to get past the shark. So if you get out there, you're going to be sort of free floating. But I think you can hold your breath for a while. Man, the search function on D&D Beyond is not the best.
Lackluster, for sure.
I assume you can go at least a little while.
I think it's a minute per constitution.
Uh, 1 minute plus minute per con mod.
There we go.
It'd be 3. I could be 3 minutes in the water.
Yeah, so you're good for a while.
I'm gonna, I guess, try to make my way closer to the next platform. I'll stay within the shark's threatened space. I'm not leaving the shark's space. Well, can I back away without it getting an attack of opportunity?
The shark is right up in your zone, so you're going to take one if you move away. The bright side, though, is you're only 30 feet from the Sun Eater.
Okay, so I'm pretty close already.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll stay put.
All right. At the end of your turn, the creature is going to make an attack against... against Cedric. Whew, 25 to hit.
That is a hit.
And that's going to be 11 piercing damage, 4 radiant damage, and you are grappled. Sorry, grappled and restrained.
The con save.
Oh, yeah, for Bless.
Yeah, Bless is still good.
All right. Now it is the creature's turn. That was a legendary action. It is going to try and swallow Cedric.
No.
That is a 25.
That is a hit.
So you all see this tendril wrapped around Cedric, and then just like Piranha, he just vanishes inside.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
When it pulls you in, it deals another 9 piercing and 1 radiant damage. So yeah, you're now in there next to Piranha. So it used that, and it's going to just deal out some attacks for everybody else. One attack against Nim, that's a 10. One attack against Goodman, that's a 14. And one attack against the Echo, because it's not smart. It got an 18. So the Echo poofs out of existence again.
Joy.
Oh, actually, several things need to happen on that creature's turn. It's going to make a con save. It does not take bleeding damage. And also, at the start of its turn, Piranha takes 12 necrotic damage.
Oh,
And it is now Cedric's turn.
Okay, so since I'm technically in the creatures, does that technically mean everybody is within 30 feet of me now?
You'll want to double check if it requires you to see them or not. You're definitely within 30 feet of Piranha. You're within 30 feet of Nim. You're too far out for anybody else.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about sight. It says as an action, you can restore 25 HP. Choose any creatures within 30 feet of you and divide those hit points among them. This feature can restore a creature to no more than half of its hit point maximum. You cannot use this feature on an undead or a construct. So it says nothing about seeing them.
Nice.
I don't
All right,
know
so-
that any of us are below half.
yeah, that's me.
Yeah, so and Cedric is below half as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my action to use my channel divinity to preserve life on everybody that's within 30 feet of me. And if you are below half, you can now restore either 25 hit points or restore whatever you need to get you back to half.
All right. That's also going to trigger the special effect on your mace. So you need to roll
Oh, that's right, because the mace has the channel divinity thing.
Yep, give me a 1d8 plus wisdom.
All right, so that's 6 and then plus 3 for wisdom.
All right,
Nice.
so each of you heals 9 hit points. Oh, Piranha, how much damage did you do this turn? Oh, that is just enough. So you can see a place where Piranha's axe has carved into it. This pulse of light from your mace sears across this wound, and the whole creature like wobbles. And you see parts of it contract and flail, and it spits the two of you back out.
And do we get this 9 above and beyond just the regular half, or is
Yes, that's
Okay.
after the other. And both of you are disgorged. And you can still do your spiritual weapon.
Yep, I'm gonna do that against the creature. All right, so that's an 18.
18
Is that
hits.
enough? All right, so that is a 5.
All right. That brings us down to the sharks. The one shark is going to continue to attack Goodman because it's right there. That's a 7.
No.
And still rolling with disadvantage because it's attacking through the oxygen shell. It does not hit with either attack. Piranha, give me a straight up and down luck check. D20.
Great luck.
Hi.
10.
The other shark is still just chomping up magic in the water. Levi, you are up.
Okay. Hex is still active.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'll just do it again.
All right.
Eldritch Blast. 23.
23 definitely hits.
Okay. 10.
All right. And go ahead and roll your hex damage for that one.
Okay. Damage.
All right. And Piranha, when that Eldritch Blast hits and the hex explodes, suddenly your head whips around. That thing just dropped below half health.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I Eldritch Blast again, correct?
All right. Yep.
So anyway, I started blasting.
17.
17. Oh, wait. Oops. Nope. Looking the wrong creature. 17 hits.
Whew, okay. Damage for that. 8.
All right. And roll your hex.
Okay. Hex is 6.
Jeez. This thing is getting pretty hurt, and you still have 2 tentacles.
I'm just gonna use both. 10 to 1. A 19.
19 hits.
Okay. The damage on that.
Jeez. Was that max damage? Yeah.
Yeah.
And roll a hex for that one.
The hex on that.
Can't win them all.
He's winning plenty. So you've got one more tentacle. I did this to myself. I wrote the item. I don't know what I was thinking.
Second tentacle is 22.
That'll hit.
Jeez.
And the damage on that, 11.
Nice.
That was like a 40-something
Let's
damage turn.
go.
Do I still have to do hex for that?
Yep.
Yep.
The hex on that is 3.
This creature went from like kind of okay to really bad shape. At the end of Levi's turn, it's going to grab and swallow another buoy, desperately trying to stay alive. Heals a little bit, not enough. And on initiative 20, lair action. Has nobody grappled, so you all see the water start to churn. See where I can drop this. Oops. All right. Piranha, Cedric, and Levi all need to make strength saving throws.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
Do you have advantage while you're raging?
Yes, I do. Thank you for that reminder. Went from an 8 to a 20.
Ooh.
I got 5.
All right. So you all see this creature is now just starting to bleed out, half digested stardust mingled with this murky blue-black mist coming out of it. And where it touches the water and starts to collect, the water starts to churn and thrash, just seemingly under its own power. And the water starts to rip and pull at you all. And Cedric and Piranha, you manage to sort of push against it. But Levi, you are pulled into the middle of one of these. You are now both prone, and while you are prone, you are poisoned.
No.
Yes.
That's bad.
All right. Not that I think either of those things going to end up mattering. Nim, you are up.
I'm trying to figure out how prone works in a 3D environment.
I mean, it's imagine like you're swimming underwater and somebody punches you in the stomach. Like you are not in a prime swimming state all of a sudden.
Okay. We're going to make my echo next to the big guy.
All right.
Is there a way to make that flanking him? And I can't. I'm trying to envision the
I
map.
probably
a little
didn't
bit.
stress this enough. This creature is approximately 50 foot square.
Oh, so no, I can't. We're all like beating on one side of it.
Yeah, I think actually the range on your echo during combat
15
doesn't.
feet.
Yeah.
So okay, so we'll do that, and we'll start by attacking at one time.
All right. He's just holding on to those extra attacks like there might be something else left to do today.
22 hit,
That'll hit.
13 damage.
All right.
I think the 15. Does 15 miss?
15 does miss.
And we'll use the last Unleashed Incarnate. Oh, for another 15 miss.
That misses. Also, the spray of stardust as you cut into it deals 7 radiant damage.
Oh, that pops the echo.
Did the echo hit, or did just you hit?
I was using the echo to attack.
Oh, yep.
So that wouldn't actually use up the incarnate then. That was on the first attack. So the second one would have been with disadvantage from me on the... Actually, so that would have popped the first one. I'll use my second attack to try to come... Can I use it to try to come out of grapple? Is that a full action, or is that a attack action?
Oh, that's right. You're still grappled. I didn't mark that. Oh.
I was using the echo to attack that wasn't grappled.
There we go.
Yep, but the second one would be a grappled attack from me.
You can try and attack the specific tendril holding you. It'll be at disadvantage, but if you deal some damage to it, you might break the grapple.
Well, it was 215, so I think that missed.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, so that was my turn.
All right. At the end of your turn, more buoys, as many as it can grab. It's starting to get real dark out here.
Hey, does that have to make an attack to do that, or is it just grabbing it?
No, it's just grabbing it. And in fact, it's not even pulling it. It's basically just like touching it and sucking all the power out. All right, Piranha. This thing is well past bloodied. Oh, you might be muted.
I was muted.
There we go.
I think I felt safer inside of it. Can I swim towards its mouth and attack while trying to get back inside?
I mean, don't worry. You're still right in front of it, so yeah, attack away.
All right. Oh, come on.
I ain't gonna do
11
it.
on the first one. Second attack. Oh, dirty 20.
That'll hit.
And you said it's well beyond bloodied.
Yep.
So 18 damage.
All right. Phew. It is very hurt. And it's going to bleed on its turn.
And I just sit there going, eat me, eat me, eat me.
All right. At the end of your turn. No, it's all out. It is Gregor's turn.
How's that shark in front of me?
That shark is hurt, but not like... It doesn't look like a stiff breeze would knock it over.
Okay. I still have the hex on the big guy.
Yep.
How do you roll for Booming Blade? Can I use Booming Blade on the shark?
Yeah, you'd be able to.
Okay. So I'll do Booming Blade and attack a swing on the shark.
All right.
Oh, bugger.
That ain't gonna do it.
Bless plus D4, right?
Yep.
I don't know if there's enough in there to impact that.
It does not get you there.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
No,
All right.
I don't have anything else. I'll stay put.
It is the creature's turn. Oh, let's see if it bleeds. Nope, that's a 19. Does not bleed. Man, it is in real bad shape. It is just flailing. It's going to make a tendril attack against everybody in the front row. So, 12 against Piranha. Doesn't hit.
Miss.
11 against Cedric. Whew, 26 against Nim.
Technically has advantage. Check to see if it crits.
That's true. Oh, that's actually worse. It doesn't crit, but if you're already grappled, it instead swallows you. So you can
Bring
see
it.
what's inside. It deals 12 points of piercing damage and 8 radiant damage. And you are now inside the creature.
No, don't eat him. Eat me.
And it's going to attack your Echo. And it
There
pops
is no
your
Echo.
Oh, that's right. Echo's dead. In that case, it's going to swing at Gregor. I'm going to keep the previous roll because it was better for you. It is a 25 to hit.
25 is better for you.
Yep, the other one was going to be a crit. It is going down in a blaze of glory. So 25, does that hit Goodman? All right. 8 points of piercing, 1 point of radiant. And that's all it's got. It is Cedric's turn. I think, are you restrained?
I don't know because I was in the stomach and
Oh,
then I
you got spit
slapped
out.
when-
You're
when I
no
did
longer
the-
restrained.
Okay, so where's the creature at to me?
It's right in front of you. It spat you out right there.
Okay, I'm gonna touch it with and give it inflict wounds,
Cool.
and I'm gonna cast that at let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and cast that at second level.
All right. Make that attack roll with bless.
All right, so that is a 23.
That'll hit.
All right, so he's gonna take 16 hit points, necrotic damage.
How do you want to finish it?
I'm going to say, I'm going to touch it, and I'm going to say, back to the void, and then just poke it really hard.
All right. As you slam your gauntleted, hard light encased hand against this creature, you feel all of the divine sigils, the celestial markings all around you, pulse and flare, and you all watch as it's almost like a vortex starts where Cedric is touching it, and all of the stardust in the creature is pulled towards that point, and the creature just goes dim. And from the tentacles inward, it starts to crumble into the water until there's just a glowing sphere of light left at the end of Cedric's hand. And then it releases back and becomes a cloud of stardust in the water. You've all survived. The creature...
So, does that mean we can't eat it?
it's basically ashes at this point.
You eat this shark that's still bothering me.
Yeah, there are in fact still some sharks. We'll just say that you all dispatch them handily.
Shark soup for dinner.
They are not as confident without their larger kin. So the creature is dispatched, but a lot of damage has been done. You can see that the stardust that's returned to the water, this star is noticeably dimmer and less coherent than it was when you arrived. It looks like the final formation of this star has been pushed back by the damage that's been done to it. And you can actually see there's still some like murky blue-black tendrils of mist sort of woven into the star. They're slowly burning off, but it seems to be impeding the star's progress. Behind you, the Acheron finally seems to have gotten its cargo bay mostly restored. You can see now there's like a glimmering translucent magical barrier over several of the holes this thing created as it ripped its way out. But you all have survived against a massive and terrible foe. The star will finish eventually. Orphany Colony will be built. But deep, deep, deep underneath you, you're being watched by a massive slitted eye. And the eye dwarfs another creature, almost the same as the creature you just fought, but hundreds of times larger. And they swim down in the depths far below. And who knows what will yet become of the Orphany Colony. But for now, your mission is completed. With some bumps along the way, you managed to deliver your cargo. And all of you will receive a hefty bonus for being the Sun Eater Slayers. But we'll have to find out more about that next time.
Hefty bonuses that Levi will proceed to win from all of us.
Yep. And Levi, you hear something the others don't. Where your hand is holding the dagger, you can hear your father's voice. And that's where we'll stop. So thanks for playing. Welcome to the Starry Sea. I'm glad you survived your first excursion. And I hope y'all enjoy the rest of LTNCon.
Likewise.
Thank you so much, Kobe. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all for
Thank you.
playing.
Very fun.
I'm going to go ahead and kick off the stream. I'll throw that up. It'll be on my Twitch channel, and I'll throw it up on YouTube eventually.